And it's just over. It's just over. I just think it's what is this going to be remembered by our children? I mean, our children, you remember those summers where something happened, or, you know, school with a big snowstorm. Our kids are going to remember this coronavirus. I remember when the world was completely shut down and there was no food and toilet paper, and my mom and dad were barricading themselves in the house, and we had to talk to each other for a while. Thank God there was this thing called the internet and Netflix, because we could escape.
And that's actually a good outcome, because that means they're looking back at it and we didn't turn into The Walking Dead. Like that, this is actually, because that...
You know, I have to tell you, with the kid, with if there wasn't internet, Netflix, if this would have happened 15 years ago, the death rate of accidental children falling into walls, or, you know, adults falling accidentally off of their roof, would be through the roof. Because what would you do? My kids would kill themselves if they were here without any technology, because all we'd be doing is cleaning the garage. There's only so many garages and closets that you have. You know,
yeah,
I don't know if anybody else is doing this, but we're taking this because we found, oh crap, I remember coming home one day 3 years ago and just being like, I gotta put that away, and then just putting it on a shelf in the garage, and it's still sitting there waiting for you to come around to it. All these things that makes life, that life is just too busy to catch up on, we're cleaning all of those out. Cleaning all of those out.
That's the biggest tragedy, or second biggest tragedy perhaps of this, is that guys can't avoid doing their to-do lists anymore.
Right?
You have no excuses.
Right.
You're just at home, and now you have to you have to clean that thing, you have to fix that thing, you have to paint that thing. This is, I mean, it's not the biggest tragedy, but it's up there. It's up there.
I mean, the deaths might be worse.
Maybe.
Right. But having to finish your to-do list is up there. I agree with you, Stu. More in just a second. Well, I talked about Goldline. If you think the world is stable, you're crazy. We are now in probably the most important week or two now, perhaps in our country's economic history. Right now, this is the week where mortgages are due. This is the week where utilities are due. This is the week where all of those things that you had to do last month when you had a job, you have to do them now. And people are starting to say, what am I going to pay first? What am I going to do? And the mortgages, they're very concerned about the banks right now. And I know they're going to save the banks, but what about everybody else? And the thing that they're doing to save everything is just printing unlimited cash. This is unprecedented. There is nothing like the Great Depression. This is off the charts. No one has a clue as to what the results will be of this. May I highly suggest that if you do have some money, that you do put it into gold now. Please consider. The world is on edge. Currency is king right now. But if you know anything about history, once they really start printing money like this, currency is eventually going to go away, because it will have to. And as the world resets, what do you have? Please call Goldline now. Goldline is still connected to a consistent supply of gold, because the world is running out of gold right now. Companies are having to sell with a mere promise of eventual delivery on gold. Goldline has it, and they are still delivering precious metals on time. Invest in gold now. Call 866-GOLDLINE, 866-GOLDLINE. There is a gold rush going on. Goldline has gold available right now for immediate delivery. Goldline.com, 866-GOLDLINE. 10 seconds, station ID.
News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM.
Sarah, we're going to need our CEO has foregone his salary and bonus to be able to pay the frontline restaurant employees. So he's taking zero, and instead he's passing that on to his employees so they can keep the employees paid. Yes, another evil capitalist in the news. Oh my goodness. Comrades, it's time for a comrade update. Yes, the evil capitalist system is coming undone, and it has shown its true colors. A report from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute has revealed that 83 capitalist corporations have been profiting from slave labor. And it gets worse, comrades. There's even a bigger victim than those poor slave workers. It's our communist allies in China, who have been unfairly caught up in this sad, sad tale. To maintain peace, of course, the People's Republic of China have been rounding up political dissidents and providing them with re-education training. This is extra schooling in a sort of camp sort of atmosphere. You sent your kids to camp. That's all the Japanese or the Chinese are doing. These political troublemakers, most of whom are religious extremists, people who claim they don't want to be part of the Chinese Communist Party, the Chinese have been rounding up. And in these camps, these troublemakers are turned into new men and women who aren't selfishly thinking of their religion or their own backgrounds. Instead, the wonders of the collective. They begin to wonder at how wonderful this wondering is of the wonderful collective. And the Communist China, the survey shows that once these pathetic dissidents have entered one of these camps, they've never been happier. In one report, 100% of troublemakers surveyed said they are thankful our Chinese comrades rescued them from their sad, useless, and pathetic lives. And 100% of these reform workers also said they wish they could have stayed longer in those re-education camps, where the cafeteria food is rated best in human history. Is there nothing that capitalism cannot corrupt, comrades? Yes. Now you might be thinking, shouldn't we be more upset at China for having slave labor in the first place? No! These are... look, there's always going to be a need for concentration camps. Re-educational, vocational centers. They're always going to be... How else are we supposed to teach those who just won't want to do their own fair share, to love their country more than themselves and their children? And of course, these capitalist corporations saying they're ignorant of all of this, as if they didn't know the Chinese government was secretly paying people around the country to put these former troublemakers to work. Well, I say enough is enough. Problem solved as soon as we get rid of capitalism. And one final note. Before closing this socialist update, comrade, I need you to warn your family and your friends and your fellow revolutionaries about Glenn Beck's new book. Now, in these times of trouble, capitalism solving so-called coronavirus, that's not going to happen. It'll be our comrades in Cuba that solve it. But Glenn Beck's new book, Arguing with Socialists, is published on April 7th. It's dangerous literature and will teach people the history of socialism. It claims that there are millions dead because of socialism and provides answers to every one of our most important arguments. Comrades, don't let this book spread. Make sure you don't go to Amazon.com or any place else to get a copy now. Arguing with Socialists, available everywhere.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
Have you ever seen a dog get a new lease on life? It's an interesting thing to watch. My dog has really... I love my dog, and Uno does not have a real relationship, let's say, with food. Doesn't generally like to eat. He loves it now.